our good friend Jason Avant. What's going on there, Jason?
What's up, Farzy? I'm doing good, brother. Good to see you. Looking good. Love the bald head as usual.
I mean, I gotta say, when I first shaved my head, I did think of the great Jason Avant, and I'm not kidding you. I don't know if I ever told you this. You referred to it once as a sunroof, and
The
I'm like, yeah, there you go. You know what? I'll shave my head. I'll stop fighting the good fight. I'm gonna be bald eventually anyway. Let's go. A sunroof it is.
And,
so
you have the head for a bald head, so that's always good.
Thank
That's
you.
always good.
Thank you. Every young high school
big blockhead doesn't work for
No, every like high school senior to college freshman that's just noticing going bald, I have the head they dream of because they're all terrified. Exactly. That's why they're fighting the good fight. Anyway, and you do too, you handsome fella.
Man, I'm trying.
Christmas was good with the kids and all that stuff?
Yeah, they got what they want. My kids are spoiled, so you know.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid it. It
is. I'm just hoping I keep them some fight in there, some desire to want something besides what dad has.
Do you and Quentin, for obviously Quentin Michael, you're partnered with Q&A. Do you guys get each other like podcast partner gifts? Do you guys do anything like that?
No, we haven't done that yet. Not yet. Maybe one of these days.
Yeah, adorable. Absolutely adorable. Jason, it's great to catch up with you again, man. Seriously, the latest episode of Q&A will be dropped tomorrow, Thursday, for the good people of Philadelphia. I'm sure you guys are going to be covering everything Philadelphia Eagles as per usual. The first thing I want to start with here is I have this, I don't like to say I'm afraid, but I'm just trying to be cognizant of. Washington just got the brakes beat off them by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Eagles are now going to be traveling to Washington to take on the Washington football team. Eagles right now in the playoffs. How do they not look past this opponent? How do they take this opponent seriously? How do they not overlook the Washington football team? How do they play them the way they should be played?
I don't think it should be that hard for the Birds. You got to remember something. We're in a driver's seat as far as the positioning to make the playoffs, but you understand how other teams view the Eagles as well. They don't look at the Eagles as the world beaters, as the Buccaneers or the Chiefs or another Packers, right? They're looking at the Eagles and saying they're a beatable team. And so the Eagles have to come with a humble approach because we played some really bad games against some bad teams this year. 4 or 5 weeks ago at MetLife Stadium, Giants, played a really bad game. So it can happen again. So, and that's the message that Sirianni has to teach or preach to them this week is that, hey, we have to be on our A game in order to, continue to ride this wave to go to the playoffs and be prepared. And I think that's the way to it. And then point to that first Giants game to say, hey, we didn't come in there prepared. It was the first time people were beginning to talk about playoffs and us, on a win streak or what have you. And the Giants beat us, and we just beat the Giants by 30 points the other day, type of thing. That's what you have to do. You have to prepare your team that way.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that sounds good to me, and hopefully that's what the Eagles will do coming up here. Just a general question here. You mentioned Nick Sirianni getting his team ready and all that. I mean, really from the start of the season where they're 2-5, and a lot of people have made a lot of that, and rightfully so, but also how they've ended the season now to this point, 6-2 in their last 8 games. What have you made of the job of Nick Sirianni in his first year as an NFL head coach?
I've been impressed with his ability to adapt. I have been earlier in the season, and I think a lot of times because of his personality type and his whimsy. I don't know.
I like that. No, I like that.
But, just his personality type, it can kind of throw you off because you're thinking like, oh, this guy is out of touch with reality and how Philadelphia is as a whole and what the city stands for. But when you consider everything that he's been thrown, he's been able to adapt. He tried to start off the season with adjusting the offense according to what Jalen Hurts did at Oklahoma. That didn't work. He said, okay, let me change this up. Let's go into center a few games that begin to work a little bit. Or let me totally incorporate Jalen Hurts into the run game and submerge ourselves into what he's good at. And they basically had to burn the boats, the same thing as Baltimore did, and make it a run-first offense in order to be successful. So there was a lot of adapting, a lot of changing. And on his side of the ball, there was a lot of changing. And Jonathan Gannon as well. Jonathan Gannon, very stagnant, very passive, all zone, not much man. the last 8 weeks, the Eagles defense has soared into that top 10 defense because the ability to get up in people's face on third down, still play a lot of zone, but with Rodney coming back, with TJ Edwards inserted into the lineup, along with Avonte Maddox playing well, Steven Nelson picking up his game, all of these guys picking up their game, he was able to turn it around well. So you're just happy. Now, the thing that you got to think of is, okay, is it the coaching doing a better job, or is it that our schedule just got better?
Mm-hmm.
It got easier.
Yeah, no,
we don't know.
Yeah,
we'll know when we play the Cowboys, and we'll know, if we make playoffs.
Absolutely. As a head coach, you're faced with a lot of, turmoil. You have to make adjustments, and you just highlighted that, but you also have to deal with a lot of personalities. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the story that was out there with Chris Mortensen of ESPN saying on ESPN that Gardner Minshew, apparently after beating the Jets, went into Nick Sirianni's office and said, "What do I got to do to be the starter?" And Nick Sirianni said, "Not going to happen. We're committed to Jalen Hurts for at least the rest of the year." Did you see that story? If so, how'd you react to it?
That's about right. Like, it's how can I will always side with the person that's most qualified for the position, who's earned it, should keep it. That's the way that I am. That person continues to play. I know that this has been a big experiment for the organization for the year, and I think that if you give up on Jalen Hurts, it kind of abandons the entire point of what you were trying to do, because they started off trying to see if Jalen Hurts was, Russell Wilson.
Right.
And they say, "Oh, that didn't work. Maybe he's Lamar Jackson." Nah, he's closer to Lamar Jackson than he is Russell Wilson. So let's change it up and do that. But you're trying to give him the entire season to try to evaluate. Personally, did I think that they were going to go to Gardner Minshew? I did. The reason I thought they were going to go to Gardner Minshew is because, for me, I thought that Jalen Hurts wanted to play that Wednesday before he was told that he wouldn't play. And those types of things get kind of leery, because if Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes is slightly hindered with a mild injury and they want to play, there's no way in hell that they're stopping him from playing. So those types of things it made me kind of iffy in seeing where they were going. Maybe they want to inject Gardner Minshew in there to see what he had for that game, or to inspire Jalen Hurts to play better. You never know.
Okay, but for your call, you would have went with Jalen Hurts for the rest of the year regardless?
Yes, because of the way that they started this season, and the way that it's been an evaluation Jalen Hurts season. That's what it's been like. For them, a 4 or 5 game period to totally take the run game away from Jalen Hurts, knowing that it's one of his strengths, and everyone in the city of Philadelphia knows that our team would be better running the ball. They literally abandoned the run game for a 4 or 5 game stretch just to see if Jalen Hurts can throw the ball on the level of an upper echelon quarterback. And they said, okay, he's not that. Let's adjust and adapt, and let's see if we can win with him. That's been an experiment this whole year, and you don't just abandon that in the middle.
Has Jalen Hurts done enough for you? Now, obviously, he's done enough to get the starter's role for this year and, till the year is over. Has he done enough to get next year as well, to beat whatever this draft class is going to propose, whatever this free agency class or trade market might propose? Has he done enough to be the starter again next year?
I won't put myself in the equation based on what I'm looking at from the Eagles. And based on what I'm seeing that's happening, I don't think that Jalen Hurts at this point is going to stop the Eagles from pursuing a quarterback this offseason, whether that be free agency, whether that be in the draft. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts can't be, a starter in his league somewhere, but his body of work and the things that's been accomplished throwing the football, which at some point you're going to have to in order to win football games, he has to do that at a higher level consistently. Now, I will say the last game that was played against the Redskins.
Okay, all right.
And later in the second half of this past game, he was pretty accurate. One of his better games, against the Redskins. So when you're gonna break down these things, like, he's getting better, and you just hope that he continues to ascend. Hopefully he continues to do better. And if he makes a playoff run, that could be washed away. But he has to show a lot of things in order to get there. Even some of his big plays this past game, Devonta Smith, right sideline, double clutches. Devonta Smith has to come back to a ball, make a play when he's beating a guy by 3 yards. If that ball is thrown out and on time, it's a touchdown. Quez Watkins has a deep over. He floats the ball in the air like a balloon and leads him up the field. Quez Watkins makes the play, but if he throws the ball in a position and drives it down the field because he has confidence in his arm, that may be a touchdown as well. Like little things like that. Goddard over the top, last week on when he grabbed the ball for guy's helmet. He stared him down the entire time. The safety was just a bad athlete and couldn't make the play, but most safeties in the NFL would have intercepted that ball. Like, so there's times that he does a lot of good things, like because the Redskins game, his ball placement was impeccable. Like, he had great ball placement that entire game. I must say that. He had great ball placement the entire game, but there was a few ones, especially when it's ones down the field, passes down the field, has to do a lot better job. And those are the things that are being evaluated. Not just completions, not just wins and losses, but how well he's thrown the ball throughout the entire season. And if it comes down to just throwing the ball, it won't be enough to stop them from giving him some competition and or somebody that's going to replace him.
In the NFL, just with your evaluation, what do you think his ceiling is? He can be a starter in the NFL, maybe just not here. He can mature into that. He can improve into that. What's the ceiling for Jalen Hurts?
I always say that he can be a starter and he can be effective. Remember, we're not questioning the player. We're not questioning the leader. We're not questioning his ability to do these things. I'm questioning the amount of time that he has to get these things accomplished.
Gotcha.
Because it's the National Football League, and there's people whose jobs are on the line if these guys don't perform at a high level. So he has to get it done as quickly as possible. And because of his background, being a running quarterback at Alabama, being changed around to a quarterback, effective, dual threat, run pass option type of quarterback at Oklahoma, and learning the game the way that he did, he's starting from ground zero in the NFL. And usually guys like him don't learn this for 3-4 years. And we're asking him to do all of this in 1 season, 1.5 seasons. So I'm saying that he can be, but will he have enough time? And I don't think that he'll have enough time unless they make a deep playoff run.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Jalen Hurts, go win the Super Bowl. Please do that.
It may not be the Super Bowl. It may be, beating the Cowboys week 17.
Sure.
Winning the first round of the playoffs and playing well in the second round.
Week 18 now, because you got 18 weeks now, man. How crazy is that?
Woof. Yeah, so week 18. Yeah, so yeah. So but it's going to take him coupling together some performances in the clutch that's going to win over the city and win over the front office.
You mentioned him already. The guy, obviously is playing your position there. That Devonta Smith guy. Yeah. I mean, look, I hope the Eagles can air it out a little bit more and a little bit more regularly just to see him in action more, because I am so impressed with the way this guy is playing football in his rookie season.
Yeah, he's learning, he's growing, he's adapting. I think the last 3 weeks or so, they've done a better job of utilizing him and putting him in situations that he's not isolated, just one-on-one on the outside, and it's a higher chance for him to get banged around. They're starting to put him in the slot a lot. They're moving his position. He's been on the line of scrimmage in the three-point stance, been in the backfield, different places, right, different spots. And that comes with his growth as, a younger player in the National Football League, learning our formations and things like that. So I'm happy to see them utilizing him in a better way to get him open, because he's going to need that at times because of his size. But he's a football player. He runs great routes. He's competitive, and he wants the football. At the end of that first Giants game, he's mad because he didn't get the football. And that's what you want. It may look like it's selfish at times. It may look like, but no, the guys that feel like they can affect the game want the ball. And in the big moments, you want that. And that's the only thing that you can ask for him. But he's going to, break Deshaun Jackson's record, the most yards. And he's continuing to get better. So if he can stay slippery and figure out how to continue to get open outside in one-on-one situations, which is, has been his weakness against those bigger guys right now. Once he figures that out, which is only his first year, sometimes take guys a couple years to that. If he can figure that out, he's unstoppable.
I know that it wouldn't have helped your case necessarily, but what would Andy Reid's team with Brian Westbrook have been like if they were a little bit more of that run-first type of offense like Nick Sirianni has put in front of us over the last couple months of the season?
Yeah, I think that Coach Reid would have definitely won more football games that way. But again, hindsight is always 20/20, and you gotta understand, like, our offensive linemen were good, but these guys that they have are like the combination of athleticism and strength with this entire group is astounding. And we have one of the better offensive lines in football, and you can't take that away from this group. It's not just the running back. It's not just Jalen Hurts. It's the ability to get Dickerson and Mailata up to the second level, and you're talking about 700 pounds of punch, and in a very athletic center, and in Lane, they do such a great job, and it's not just that they're strong, they're synchronized, they're on time. It's not just about moving the guy back. It's about when the block is taking place, right? How can I get up to the second level, and when I'm getting up there? Is it in union when the running back is making his cut? Those types of things. They're doing a great job of it.
What do you and Quentin Michael have coming up on the latest Q&A, which will come out Thursday, tomorrow at the time we air this? What do you guys got going on?
It's always the hottest topic. Jalen Hurts is always the hottest topic. Come on, it's always the hottest topic because Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback, going forward. We're going to talk about the defensive performance, pretty much everybody on defense. We usually talk about the receivers and what we can get out of that second and third guy, offensive line play. We cover the entire thing, as well as play calling from both sides of the ball, and how we can, what the future looks like. The teams that are doing well, the chances if the Eagles fall here, who they can play, those types of things.
Plenty more analysis, just like you heard him break down Jalen Hurts. And also, I won't ask you this question. I'll leave some meat on the bone for your podcast, obviously, with Quentin Michael, Q&A, as part of Inside the Birds Network. I'll let you guys talk about on that show whether or not you think the Eagles in these next 2 weeks will lock up a playoff spot. Jason Avant, always great catching up with you, man. And if I just feel like jumping around on a trampoline, where can I do that?
Come on, do it over at Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. We play dodgeball. We have rock ball, laser tag, trampolines, Ninja Warrior. We do it all. I'll hit your kid in the face with a dodgeball and find it at the same time. Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey.
Your kid's crying, but it was Jason Avant. That's awesome. No, Jason, I can't thank you enough, man. Once again, a belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, and make sure you guys check out Quentin Michael and Jason Avant Q&A as part of the Inside the Birds podcast empire. Jason, thanks, brother.
Thanks, Farzy. Take it easy.
Jason Avant joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line.